Well, if I don't see you in an hour's time, baby, I'll be down that old fishing hole. I said, if I don't see you in an hour's time, baby, I'll be down that old fishing hole. But if it gets too much later than that now, please come bring me home. Well, if it goes 2 hours, pretty baby, and I don't see you like I oughta, I said if it goes 2 hours, baby, and I don't see you like I oughta, well, I guess I'll drop that little boat right down in the water. Well, if it goes 3 hours, baby, starts moving up into 4. I said if it goes 3 hours, my mama starts moving on up into 4. Well, I guess I'll roll that little boat a little bit further from shore. Sure I will. Roll that boat. Keep on rowing. Where am I going? Oh, I'll stop right here. Well, if it gets dark, pretty baby, before I see your face, I said if it gets dark, pretty baby, before I see your face, well, I guess I'll pull a fish up in that boat and he can sit right there and take your place. All right. Well, you when I was crying blind. Well, you when I was doing fine. Where were you, babe, when I left you behind? I can reach out my hand and I can touch the wall, and I can pick up that phone, but I can't afford your call. You know it's the land and it'll get you, but I still don't like the fall. Well, you make a bet, baby, I'll make a toast. Voice I hear more, but your face I see the most. And it's just 6 more days till I'm back on that coast. Well, you when I was crying blind. Well, you when I was doing fine. behind. Why I should give you the cause, and I'll tell you right now without the slightest pause. I've been drawn all day and they're all sure strong. Now steady your soapbox as you stand up for me, and our moonlit nights together as leaves on a tree. When the autumn winds blow, God knows where I'll be. Where were you when I was crying blind? Where were you when I was doing fine? Where were you, babe, when I left you behind? Well, I'm going down to the boatyard, and I'm gonna have them teach me how to sail. And she can stare out at the ocean forever and a day, but she ain't never gonna pick up my trail. Oh no. St. Louis, she looked about as troubled as trouble can be. Well, she flashed me a smile, and I thought to myself, well, this woman's bound to be perfect for me. All right. Followed me over to Kentucky, and she followed me all the way up to Maine. And if you'd seen her, you would know I was lucky. But if you knew her, you would think I was insane, and you might be right. One day she'd rightly call me Joe, but the next day, you know, she called me Seth. One day she'd love me from the bottom of her heart, but the next day she'd try to hate me to death. Oh no. I'll move out to the middle of the ocean, where you can see 100 miles at a glance. And I don't think she'll ever try to pick up my trail, but you know I just can't afford to take that kind of chance. No, I can't. Well, a whole lot of folks never wanted to see him again. But here's another story about Big Black Ben. Well, when he woke up, it was the middle of the night. Rain tapping on the window and a light shining bright. Yo, he looked outside thinking it's too early to be dawn. He seen 6 men in hoods burning a cross on his lawn, right out there in the open. Well, he went outside and said, boy, you in it deep. He said, now put that thing out, don't you know I'm trying to sleep. They say where you here been with white women behind closed doors. He came awake in a smile and said, just yours and yours and yours and yours. Well, then he said, never in my life have I seen such cowardly races. You're too scared to even let this black man see your faces. And one by one they pulled their hoods off their head. He said, you're all just as ugly as all your wives said. Well, they put the rope around his neck and they dropped him from a tree. But the rope was too long and he landed on his knee. Then they pulled out their guns like a bunch of hard cases. Then, you know, he spat at their feet and kicked mud in their faces. Well, they must have been confused, all their faces being brown, because they shot each other dead. Big Black Ben dug to the ground. Ben sure felt bad, you know, seeing those 6 ways of life. But you know the sun's coming up and someone's gotta go console some wives. Console. Standing beside me with a wilting hand, eyes the color of green that could change your luck. And I got my shovel, but I can't recall where in the world I buried that gun. Well, the water's always changing, but that water's always changing, but that river. baby is born, there's too much blood and not enough soul. And I'm staring at the grass between my toes, 'cause all the mirror shows is a death of hope. Well, the water's always changing, but that river, you goddamn dog, and don't you ever ask me about those days. As the Lord would have it, everybody knows he don't ask the preacher about his evil ways. No, no, you know the water's always changing. But that river, taking my picture from her locket. And it takes 2 days to get home by train, and I got my burying money in my pocket. No, the water's always changing, but that river, that river, but that river. At me now, thinking there's no way I'd show up empty-handed on Valentine's Day. But despite how things may look to you, I'll tell you right now, that ain't exactly true, no. Well, I bought you a Cadillac and a mink coat too, and I was driving them right now, right here, over to you. But there were these bandits, each with 6 guns and a knife, and I'm lucky I made it out with my life. See, I bought you a rose, but it'll be a little slow. You see, I planted it today, and they take a little while to grow. You're gonna have to take my word, so there ain't no way to tell. You know I did buy you a puppy, but he fell down the well. This next thing here, I ain't gonna tell you what I did to get it, but I'd say the police will probably be here any minute. Diamonds shine so bright, you can hear them sing. But I'm looking around now, baby, and I'm sorry, but I seem to have misplaced that diamond ring. son of God. But those blue lights over my shoulder tell me my ride is here. Happy Valentine's Day, darling. I'll see you next year.